but I'm gonna try to explain it the way that I wish someone explained it to me when I was younger. And so if you are interested in a specific field, I recommend that you really prioritize those certain extracurriculars that relate to that field or career. I think a big reason why I got into University of Michigan along with other schools was because of the support system that I had, and specifically my college counselor really laid out the foundation for me. Having her support me throughout the process made it so much better. I just really want to give you guys the opportunity to reach out to her directly if you're interested in her services at all. Try to maximize the course load that's available at your school. I think letting them know that you are sort of like a human and you have your own interest in their course and what they're teaching. I know that that was sort of helpful in forming that relationship with my teachers. Hey guys, hello, my name is Lorena. I am a sophomore at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I wanted to make a video about how I got into the University of Michigan, and I wanted to make this video specifically just to help people, just because I took certain courses, just because I took part in certain activities. I feel like it's all very relative, and so I just don't think that one thing is better than another in the holistic process of college applications. I'm really pulling out all my college jargon. I hope that this is still very helpful for you. I can't really tell you like why I got into the university. I feel like only the people that were reading my application can tell you that, and I feel like the title is a bit misleading in that sense. All I can tell you is like the things that I did to put me in the position that I was in. And so yeah, I hope that this is helpful for you, and if it is, please let me know. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I think a big reason why I got into University of Michigan along with other schools was because of the support system that I had, and specifically my college counselor really laid out the foundation for me in which schools I should apply to, what grades I should strive for, how to format certain things in the application process, what like certain college lingo meant. And she's actually now working with students privately, and she does a really fantastic job. A lot of people in my class got into very high-tiered universities, including Dartmouth, UPenn, Harvard, so many like top schools like USC and University of Michigan and WashU St. Louis, Georgetown University, honors colleges to different schools. She was really able to help me craft my application so that it was well received by the application readers, and she just really knows her job. She really does go out of her way to find opportunities that are available to you, things that you could possibly apply for, and then she goes out of her way to just make sure that you and your family are informed in the process and makes you feel really comfortable while you are going through the college admission process, which is just, honestly, it can be a very overwhelming experience. And so being on the other side of it, I feel like I really want to just shout out her and just let you guys know. This is literally just me telling you, like, having her support me throughout the process made it so much better, and I could not have imagined going through the process without her. And so I just really want to give you guys the opportunity to reach out to her directly if you're interested in her services at all. She's just like such a wonderful person, and I just cannot speak enough great things about her. Her name is Mary Hager. I will leave her email and her contact information in the description box below. If you guys are interested, please feel free to reach out, and you can reach out to her and ask her. Yeah, so I just want to put that out there, and without further ado, let's actually get into this video. Okay, so alright, so I'm gonna start out by talking about the course load that I took, with a caveat that my school's actually like really advanced. It was like one of those like how do I describe this? I feel like I want to be able to give you guys like a picture of it, but it's honestly really hard unless you have lived through it. So the point is, it's a pretty like accelerated school, and like the norm is crazy. Like, people take so many APs, and I mean, I'm happy that I went through that experience. It was mine to live with, and so I want to put that out there because I feel like you definitely don't need to take this many APs to get into a good school. And then this is just like my experience. Okay, in 8th grade I took AP World History, and then in 9th grade I took AP US Government, Biology Honors, Digital Photography, English Language Honors, English Literature Honors, French 2, and Pre-Calculus AP. In 10th grade I took AP Biology, AP Calculus AP, AP English Language and Composition, AP European History, AP Physics 1, Drama, and then I took French pre-AP. In 11th grade, I took drama once again. I took AP Calculus BC, AP English Language, AP French Language and Culture, AP Human Geography, AP US History, and Chemistry Honors. 12th grade, doesn't really matter as much because I think that by the time that Michigan read my application, they only saw like my first trimester grades, and so I mean, I'll just let you guys know, I took Capstone French Culture and Literature, Capstone History of Mathematics, Capstone Military History of the United States, Capstone Topics in Biology. I took College Counseling, Drama, Post-AP Anatomy and Physiology, and then I had a senior project. I think I took 12 AP courses, and then I think I took 12 APs in total. So this was not included in here, but I did not take the AP for AP Physics 1. I did take the AP for AP Spanish, even though I was not in the class. So, you know, I don't want to talk about my grades. I don't think that they're necessary. I don't think that they're very necessary. But I will say, if you're thinking about applying to more selective colleges, just be aware that just try to maximize the course load that's available at your school. And if that looks like the IB program or like taking dual enrollment, doing things to make sure that you are taking advantage of the things around you, and then doing them well. Like, know your limits. Don't take 7 APs in 1 year and then do poorly. That almost like backfires. Hopefully you understand what I mean. I guess realistically, if you can take like 5 honors classes and then 1 AP and do really well in all of them, that's amazing. I think that's more valuable than taking like 6 APs and then doing poorly. Now to talk about my extracurriculars. When I applied to the University of Michigan, they give you sort of 2 options, 2 majors to apply into, I think, from what I can remember. And my first one was undecided, and my second was an international relations major. And my application sort of read in that fashion where it was related to international relations, international affairs, like governmental studies. I tried to formulate my extracurriculars around that story. And so I was in charge of this club at school. I founded a club called Democracy of Tomorrow, where I posted videos about local politics. I directed, edited, and uploaded my bi-monthly updates, and scheduled and interviewed outside guest speakers. That was one example of me doing that at school and taking some sort of leadership in that. Alright, so I was in Red Cross Club as well, and I was in charge of the International Humanitarian Law Campaign director. Yeah. I coordinated and independently created a film to raise awareness for international humanitarian law. In the Leadership and Student Government Club, I was the president and the head of the fundraising committee. And I feel like when you are in high school and you want to show that you have a sense of leadership in your application, I think something really cool to do is to show you like progressing in leadership levels. So I started at being the head of the fundraising committee, and then I was able to get elected to be the president. So if you're able to find something like that, I think that's a nice plus to have, but I don't think it really is a big deal. I was also in the varsity track and field, and I won some medals. So I put my I put the medals that I won for, and then what races I raced in and got medals for. Yeah, so this is something that I really feel like stood out to me or differentiated me from other applicants. It was the fact that I was involved in my local Hispanic community. So I was part of this program that helped teach immigrants English fluency, help them attain their English fluency. It was located in Phoenix, and I got pretty involved with this community and program. Not only did I volunteer there on a weekly basis, but I ended up creating like a community-based initiative alongside this program that I went with to South America, and I was able to teach my students about different parts of the world. And so that was just me sort of really trying to solidify and really integrate myself into the Hispanic community. That's something that I was very passionate about. In general, my application read very heavily on the side of, you know, civics, politics, international affairs, and so I really wanted to make sure that I sort of branded myself in that regard, making sure only to include the activities that really kind of dealt with that more than others. Like I was in part of a coding camp when I was in freshman year, and I didn't include it at all in my application. I think that that served me, because I feel like if you are including everything, something so STEMmy, and then clashing it with everything that I had from like politics and government, I felt like it really wouldn't mesh well together and almost read a little bit confusing to the reader. And so if you are interested in a specific field, I recommend that you really prioritize those certain extracurriculars that relate to that field or career. I feel like the goal of the readers is to create a class that has that's well-rounded. And I feel like you hear this phrase a lot, but I'm gonna try to explain it the way that I wish someone explained it to me when I was younger. So they're trying to create a well-rounded class. They're gonna try to choose applicants that represent their niche the best. I've heard that people should aim to being more of like a needle rather than a circle, in the sense that you have like a very angled direction that your application reads, rather than, you know, being part of everything on campus and doing like not a lot of extra in one area, if that makes sense. When I was in 10th grade, I was able to go and study sort of civics and community service. I spent some time in South America, in Uruguay, for 6 weeks, and I was awarded a Department of State scholarship, so I included that in there. I was able to go to the Hispanic National Bar Foundation Leaders Law Camp, and I spent 2 weeks in DC, so I put that into my application as well. I also sort of garnered some small but meaningful awards throughout my time, and so I included those in there, sort of like the French National Exam, for example. I really wanted to showcase my interest in international affairs, and so I felt that including those type of things would be beneficial for my application. And I also made sure to include that I was fluent in English, Spanish, and French, because because I felt like that sort of went along with that. That's really mostly it. When it comes to, I just want to touch on quickly, like letters of recommendation. My school had a really great system of letting teachers pick which students they wanted to write letters of recommendation for, which worked out really nicely for me, and I had like my favorite teachers pick me out, which was so wonderful. And obviously I will never see the letters that they wrote. Oh my god, I would literally pay money to see those. But I think that in general, like a good tip is to really sort of try to make relationships with your teachers early on, because I feel like that will literally only help you. Teachers are such a great resource, and I'm so happy that I was able to make such great relationships with my teachers in high school. And even if it isn't for like anything that benefits you at all, it's just nice to have like a really good relationship with your teachers. In general, it's really wonderful. And even though I go to the University of Michigan now, I really miss my high school teachers. And so yeah, take advantage of that, of having high school teachers for sure. If there are moments where your class lecture, whatever you covered in class, mixes with your personal life, then touch on that when you are able to. Like, I sometimes will stay after class and talk to my teacher about something that I'd seen in the New Yorker, for example, in the news that was taking off. And so I would just go to them and ask them what their perspective was on the situation. Just stuff like that. I know that that was sort of helpful in forming that relationship with my teachers. I think letting them know that you are sort of like a human and you have your own interest in their course and what they're teaching, and then you can also throw in some like personal bits of who you are. It gives them a great idea of who you are as a person, and like eventually if they do consider you to you know, write letters of recommendation for you, then it will be a lot easier sort of sell than, you know, like writing a letter of recommendation for someone that you really don't know outside the class. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. And I really hope this was helpful for you. Good luck in the process. You got it. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking around, and I wish you the best of luck. All right, peace out.